Hey everyone, it's Jeff Douglas, resident physical therapist and golf performance coach for Athletic Motion Golf. And today I'm going to come on here and talking about the importance of shin angle when it comes to your lower body exercises. And so what am I talking about? So by dictating or changing our shin angle, we can change where we are stressing more of our force, or putting more of our force in regards to our body. So this is important because when you're training, based off what's weak, where you want to get stronger, or in my case, many times in the rehab world, I want to take stress away from certain areas so that it doesn't hurt them or flare them up to start building strength there, okay? So what I'm talking about is if I take here, my shin angle, if it is vertical, that is going to stress my posterior chain more, which is like hamstrings, glutes, backs, all right? If I let my shin angle go forward, I am now making this more of a quad dominant exercise, all right? So many times, this is the big difference between a deadlift and a squat, is squats for the most part will be more of a quad exercise. You are working everything still, okay? I'm not saying you don't. Whereas a deadlift takes a little bit more off the quads and it makes it a lot more posterior chain emphasis, all right? And I'll talk one other big rule I say is what the difference between a deadlift and squat is in a second. But, so if I take these TRX straps and I push my butt back, okay? You can see now my shin is vertical versus I want to do a squat that's more quad dominant. I let my knees go forward. So the myth that squatting your knees over your toes is bad for you is a bunch of baloney. If your knees aren't ready to have that much amount of stress, it ain't going to be good for you, all right? But yes, you can let your knees go over your toes if that's what we're trying to accomplish. But it's bad if you have a sore knee, achy knee, and you're doing that a lot and you're putting more stress there, then yeah, we're not going to like it, okay? But that myth needs to go. It's not true. It's all based on that particular person's situation and what are your goals you're trying to accomplish. So when I go down here, okay, and I keep my shin vertical, I have a vector of force that's going through here, right? And by moving my shin back, I have made my moment arm, which is my knee here, that distance between where the force is to that knee has gotten smaller, which makes it easier on my knees, okay? It's not as long of a moment arm. I have now created a longer moment arm between my hips and where that vector of force is, which now makes it a more of a quad exercise, or sorry, not quad, glutes, posterior chain, okay? That moment arm got longer. Now if I go down and I want to do my quads more, vector force is here, but now I let my shin go forward, which has created this distance to be greater in that moment arm, which now makes this harder on the knee to do its job, which makes it more quad dominant. And I have now shortened the distance between the moment arm of my hips to the vector of force, so that is now easier for my hips. So you will feel more quad by allowing your knees to go forward. And that's why in many cases when people squat, you'll feel a little more quad dominant because you are going to let your knees go forward a little bit before you come up, all right? And so if I set up to a kettlebell deadlift here, you're going to see I'm going to push that butt way back first. I'm going to hip hinge, which, right, we need to know how to hinge because that's checkpoint one. Getting that good hinge. And then I have now made that distance between the force and my butt longer. So when I lift, and my shin is vertical, so when I lift, I am feeling this more here. Yes, quads are doing stuff, but we have changed the emphasis to be more of a hip dominant exercise now, just by changing the shin angle, all right? Now, one thing I do want to talk about, another difference between a squat and deadlift, my definition of a deadlift is my shoulders are always above my hips are always above my knee, where something like squat, see, now my butt's lower than my knee as well. So that's one difference I would say. But in regards to this video, if you want to change where the amount of force is being put for your lower body, then you just need to change your shin angle. So let's just do a quick lunge. We'll just do one more example here. If I want more of a hip lunge, I'm going to make sure this shin is straight up and down when I do it. But if I want to feel more quad, I'm going to allow myself to move forward a little bit. I'm going to allow that knee to translate forward. So that would be a way to modify your lunge to change how you want to stress your tissue. Changing your torso as well can do a little bit, but I'm not going to go into that on this video. And so to kind of debunk another thing with that myth of knees over toe, I do program, and many people do program what are called sissy squats, where you put your knees together and we try to go back as far as we can and then come back up. And some people who have the strength can go all the way down to the ground and work their way back up. But that's because I want someone to work on developing more strength there. So I programmed in there. But we have to do the right amount of sets and reps. We have to make sure they're ready for it in the first place. There's a lot of factors, again, to think about before we just start doing things. We have to have a why behind it, and we have to have the prerequisites for it, all right? So I hope this helps if you are trying to work, maybe you are working around some knee pain right now, or you just want to work on strengthening a certain area or know how to strengthen certain areas. This is one thing to think about, is that shin angle. So vertical shin, posterior chain, forward leaning shin, gonna get more quad dominant. Let me know if you have any questions about this. And I hope you guys are enjoying the forum, so take care.